run through there.
All right, and boom, we are live.
Getting started early today. A little
we
excited.
Started early. I could have let that music run for a little bit longer, but I'm still worried that, one of these days they're going to say we're not supposed to do that. So until that day comes,
we'll just keep doing it.
We're just going to keep riding.
There you go.
How was everybody's weekend?
Not bad.
Yeah?
Yeah. Did some candlepin bowling. Is that what it's called? Candlepin?
Candlepin, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty terrible.
I don't think anybody's good at candlepin bowling, Dave. So I don't think you should feel bad.
No, I don't feel bad because,
I'm
use
the
old,
bumpers?
So I should have. Probably would have made my score a little better, you know? But, no, it was fun.
I shouldn't say that a lot of people aren't bad, because the few times that I've gone, there are some people there that take the candlepin very seriously. And,
yes.
I don't
the
think they
people
would
right
be,
next to us.
Yeah, I don't think they would be upset with me saying that.
You know who's upset is Tina.
Yeah.
Dave's wife. Right off the rip. Already pissed off. I'd hate to go home if I was Dave. You go home and just deal with bitching and complaining. We've been on for about 15 seconds, and here comes Tina D.
Oh, she's already complaining?
Complaining.
Fix the volume.
I don't know.
The volume there,
Oh, boy.
the audio there, the video quality. Come on, Tina.
She's tired.
She's tired. Hey, we're all tired.
We went to the Bruins game last night, and, it was a late one. They went to overtime, so, cut her some slack.
All right, I guess.
My mother's chiming in too.
The volume's all messed up. I have no idea what's going on with this new setup. We did all this run through today, and it's still messed up.
Plugged in.
So we may have to try this again.
Well, let's just start screaming. Can you hear us if we scream? I got no problem screaming for 60 minutes.
Yeah,
good?
We did
Jeez.
We did the dry run, and it sounded all right.
All right, Tina.
Michael is very disappointed.
Tina just pulled off. Now. It's not you, it's me. One of those deals. Heard that a million times.
Oh yeah. All right, we are going to X out. And
why?
Because there's no volume.
None at all.
It's because you guys changed seats. Did we change seats? No. We flipped the camera.
Spot. Oh, what happened?
You want to hit that red record button?
This one?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to have to do that all over again, huh?
All right, Tina. Michael is very disappointed. Tina just pulled off. It's not you, it's me. One of those deals.
Does it sound good?
That a million times. Oh, yeah. Sounds fucking perfect. Why? Maybe they couldn't hear it on their end. Sometimes it's like a little Facebook glitch that's happened to me when I've done videos with Kerry. I can't hear Kerry, but that's a split screen, so I don't know. But dude, that sounded like it was fun.
I shouldn't say it.
Yeah, we sounded
all right. Facebook has been having issues. They shut down temporarily yesterday, so.
Oh boy.
Did you? Dave sounds great. Tina just pulled off. It's not you, it's me. One of those deals. Heard that a million times. Oh, yeah. All right, we're going to X out. Why?
Yeah, it sounds fine. All right. Well, we went from starting early to starting late.
Yeah.
I sold 6 cards last night.
Ooh.
While I was at the Bruins game. I looked
online?
Yeah, on eBay. I looked at my phone. I was like, oh, shit.
Nice.
Offer for this one. Offer for that one.
My brother just bought he just sent it to me. A Connor Bedard. They're fucking expensive.
Mm-hmm.
500 something bucks.
Yeah, I was stopped at the card shop. He said that the young guns out of this box.
Yeah, that's what he got. Upper Deck
Someone
Series
sold
2
it for $1,700.
For the Bedard?
Yeah.
Oh. Was it like numbered or a special like?
No, it's just the young guns. He said there is one that's numbered. It's like 1 of 50 or something like that.
That's got to be going for big time bucks.
But he also said there's a 1 of 1 autograph that someone has already said they'll pay $1 million.
Oh, I was going to say that's $1 million.
Yeah.
That's $1 million.
All right.
I have no idea. So.
Yeah. Oh God.
Hold on, I gotta give you. Did you shut off the camera?
No. Shit.
We'll know.
Let's see how it goes.
We'll know Tina will be complaining. We'll find out soon enough.
Alright, you get a new phone a couple weeks ago, and everything goes
hell breaks
to
loose.
crap. You know?
All right. Did you tag me again?
Yeah, everything should be all set in there.
Oh, boy.
You know, but...
yeah, here we go.
But everything got screwed up. I think we may have to switch phones, do something. I don't know. But as long as the other feeds stay good, we're good. You know?
I think this sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and then everyone's saying they couldn't hear us, and then we replayed it, and then we could hear. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
Whew.
We'll see how it goes now.
All right, so this is take 2. We're talking about Dave's bowling weekend. Candlepin bowling.
Candlepin bowling.
His arm hurts.
I was couldn't knock the pins over
Couldn't
if I
knock-
tried. Needed the bumpers, you know. Yeah, it was a good time. I'm just terrible at it.
And now this isn't working. That's not recording. Oh,
All right,
what?
so can the people, can they hear us? Because if they can hear us, we got a show. If not,
Let us know, please.
why is the room upside down? Hector, I don't really know. Today's just one of those days, Hector, and we're going to have to... Oh, it looks like Dave's daughter is chiming in, calling us
As
amateurs.
usual.
All right,
As
young
usual.
lady, I know you're 16 years old.
We
You think you have life by the balls? Trust me, as you get older, life sucks, all right? So you have all these, great intentions with life. You get older, it's not that good, Kiara DeShulo, all right? So settle down over there.
You got
I haven't even opened up my Bang Energy drink, Kira. All right, you want more? Come back in about 10 minutes.
Microphones aren't connected.
Everything's
Can't
connected.
hear.
I don't know what's
Sounds,
going
oh,
on.
what a disaster.
No, it's connected. I don't know.
No sound. Can't hear you.
All right, maybe I need to apologize to your daughter. Maybe she wasn't wrong. There's an issue with the sound, and we're just going to wing it, right?
No, nobody can hear it. I
can't
don't
hear you
understand this at all.
Do we unplug all this shit and we go old school? We just scream?
We try one more time.
Stop. I'm sorry, Bob. Blame Snelly. Oh,
All right.
yeah, he's crushing my legs over here.
All
I
right.
feel like as a man of the people, we're
It's coming.
It's coming.
Okay, but this time, I think we got the audio. Bad chords. Bad chord. You know, one bad chord, as we just noticed many a times, can screw everything up.
Yeah, maybe we got it right this time. I feel like we have so many people that
I know.
got on, and please stay with us.
We lost all of our viewers. So.
I'm surprised some of them are actually coming back. I mean, we're 15 minutes.
They just want to
late.
make fun
We
of us
messed
at
up.
this point.
Yeah, we'll let them. It's
Yeah.
well deserved, I guess.
Throw
We're wrong all
throw
the
your
time.
digs. Come get us.
But
We can
that's
take
it.
it.
It's there. All right, Tina. Thank you.
Tina, finally,
All right.
Tina is happy.
Right here. This little chord, to the people on Spotify, I have no idea what this is. I don't even know what kind of chord this is, but it didn't work. And now we're good.
I feel a little deflated
I
already.
do. Everyone missed all the candlepin bowling talk, you know?
All right. So, where do we want to start?
Thanks, Sean. Now nobody wants to
Introductions?
hear us. I think
Yeah.
they liked it better when it was silent and it was just us doing this.
Yeah, looking like a bunch of idiots.
Oh,
Speak for yourself, Dave.
I do it well.
Yeah, I know.
all right. Well,
All right, Paul Connors is happy.
All
I
right.
think we're all happy. Relieved, happy, ready to get the show started.
tell the people what they're watching.
I'm about to. You just cut me off. Welcome to the Probably Wrong Podcast, Take 3. My name is Tony Furtado. To my left, Mikey Snellgrove. To his left, the great Diamond Dave DeShillo. Whew, take 3. Wow.
I'm happy we got it. I was stressing out.
I could tell. I could feel the anxiety.
It was. It kicked
room.
in high
Yeah,
gear.
yeah, I know,
But,
I
you
know.
know, pulled it together, and I like your little behind-the-scenes footage of everything going on. Didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I did that on my Instagram. Yes, I did that on there. But you know what? Like, that's life for you. Life doesn't always go as planned, and you got to, like, figure it out.
Yeah.
And here we are. We figured it out. We're 15 minutes late. We apologize for that, but we're happy that people still came back to see us. We don't know why they came back to see us, but they're here.
Hey, you know what? They love the wrong takes.
Yeah, they get a lot of them here.
So
That's for sure.
what I wanted to dive into a little bit before we got into sports, and I know we're 15 minutes late, but we like to get into a little random thoughts here and there. So this has been with me all day long, and I didn't really talk about it much because I'm like, am I the only one?
It's quite possible.
Do you guys have nightmares?
Oh, yeah.
Well, and what I mean by nightmares is not like the realistic nightmares where, like, you know, happens to me all the time. Things happen to your kids. Things happen at work. Those kind of just bad dreams. I mean, like monsters.
I see a lot of death in my dreams. I don't know if that's good. My most recent one that I remember, I was at Walmart. I love Walmart. I will one day work at Walmart. I love that place. And my brother calls me white trash for loving Walmart. I love that store. Something about that store I just really like. And I was at Walmart in my dream, and this young girl, she must have been about 15 years old. You know those, like, big ladders? Like those commercial grade ladders that they have, like, usually in the shipping and receiving area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She climbs up one of the ladders and then just jumps off it, lands on the ground, breaks her neck, and just dies right there. And then I woke up probably about like 15, 20 seconds later. This dream was a few months ago. And I'm like, my heart's racing, like I'm like kind of sweaty, and I'm like, what the hell is in my head for me to see that?
See, those are the kind of dreams. But last night, I can't remember the particulars. I just remember the end because all day. So it was kind of work related, but it was like a Freddy Krueger scene, like in the boiler room. And I just remember in my dream coming to and being like, dude, you're 43. This is a dream. The whole dream I'm getting chased by this, like a monster. And I'm like, you're 43 having monster dreams.
Yeah, it's time to grow up, Snowgrove.
Right? In my dream, I'm telling myself, grow up, dude. Like, you're old. You don't... And then I turned around, and this thing lunged at me, and all I can remember it saying is, and now that I'm on air, I'm having it, but it is, this isn't a nightmare. This is real. And then my alarm clock went off, and I woke up, and I was like, what the hell was that? And I'm lying in bed going, is there monsters under my bed? Like, feeling like a little kid. Like, I'm like I had to flip on lights, try not to wake everybody up, and all day long, all I can hear is that voice, because it was like an eerie-ass voice. And I'm getting goosebumps right now. Because I'm like, and it was like a monster dream at 40 years old.
Yeah.
Now I can't get mad at my son and my kids when they have bad dreams because I'm like, oh,
are
it
you
still
watching
happens.
something before bed? Like, did you watch a horror movie or something?
All day I'm running. No, nothing.
You watched the Boston Celtics? That might have done it. Yeah.
Ordinary. And this was like a. It
Or
was
the
like
Bruins.
Or the Bruins.
It was like a.
Done
It
it.
was like a. If I had to peg it, it was like a Jeepers Creepers Freddy kind of mix. It was
It wasn't a tin knocker chasing you, telling you to move your pipes out of the way, was it?
yeah, Todd. Yeah, that was a good comment. All right.
How about you, Dave? Any crazy dreams?
I'm just glad to know already by the yeses in here. Like it's.
I get spooked out by. I have these like dreams where there'll be a figure, and all I can see is a face, just watching me, and
That's probably Tina.
It could be. It could be.
It's funny they say because Tina just chimed in the comments there she can't do ghosts or aliens, and then you're talking about.
I always just for some reason I think it's like my version of the devil watching me. I don't know though because I don't know. It's an eerie. I get an eerie feeling from it even when I wake up.
Yeah.
I'm like it's an eerie feeling, but it doesn't happen often.
But it's like this one, like I was like still paralyzed with like almost like fear.
Yeah.
And
I haven't nothing like that.
I can't remember other than being a kid, like dreaming of like an actual monster chasing me in my dreams. And I'm like, all right, I mean, I got to change up something.
Sometimes you hear
tired.
a voice, and I don't know. I'll hear like a voice, and I'll wake up thinking that is that someone in the house or something.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
But you know. It's nothing. It's just me, my
I get
imagination.
dreams about like the kids and stuff like that really freaks me out. I'm sure everyone who has kids had it's just those dreams. Those dreams shake you to your core sometimes because you wake up and they're real, and that's. Whew, but like all day long, that nightmare that stuck with me, the words, and I'm like, oh man, like I talk and joke about stuff at work, and I'm like, today I didn't even really bring it up because I'm like,
yeah, I sound like a little bitch.
So I'm gonna bring it up.
I work with a bunch of men. I sound like a little bitch.
I'm gonna bring it up on air.
I had a nightmare. I was so afraid.
Todd chimed in. I need a cardboard cutout of him by my bed.
A funny note. For some reason, Tina has all these wacky dreams, but just about every one of them, Todd dies in them.
You out there? And Todd's a friend of the show.
Yeah, a friend of ours.
Todd died. We need the viewers.
Yeah. And every time it's like, again?
Did you show the new TNT Customs T-shirts?
Well, I did on the first 2 takes.
Yeah.
I totally forgot. So looking sharp, TNT Customs.
There you go. Now you got it. And to everybody at home, you're going to have to go to a YouTube feed or somewhere else to see what this shirt looks like. But speaking of nightmares, if we want to roll right into it, I think
we can pick any Boston sports team.
What might have started my nightmare was that Boston Celtics game last night.
Yep.
Now, I know everybody was excited about what they saw on Saturday and then Sunday and what they saw on Friday night. Those were good games. Friday night, the Dallas Maverick game, that was a really good game. Sunday, you didn't see anything. It was a wonderful blowout. People were on cloud 9.
Especially since it was Golden State.
Yep, and Golden State just gave up. So I can't hold much credit on that.
Well,
the first quarter,
yes, yeah, you did go up 20. They made a statement. They made a statement.
Honestly, that's what kind of pisses me off, Tony.
Yeah.
Because we go into last night. We're going to be going back and forth between these two games for a little bit. But then we go into last night, right? Up by 10, up by 20. Celtics looking good.
I shut the game off in the fourth quarter. They're up 20.
Yeah, 9 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, that's probably
left in that game. They were up by 22 points, Tony.
Yeah.
22 points against the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference. Right. This is a team that they want that spot. And now, mind you, they didn't have
two of their better players.
One of a perennial, an all-star. He wasn't an all-star this year. No, he was an all-star this year. Donovan Mitchell?
I love Donovan Mitchell.
But he is just, it doesn't matter if he was in this year or not.
Yeah,
he
he's
is
an all-star.
Top 10, top 15 player in the league. We'll say top 15. Yeah.
Same level as Jaylen Brown, I feel. Very similar.
So when they were out, I'm like, all right, wow, these guys are out, and they're keeping the pressure on, right? The Celtics, for the first 3 quarters of the game, a little bit more, we had something to cheer about.
So who do you blame on this
And then the collapse happened.
Who takes the blame? I've heard multiple different things.
Tatum and Missoula. 100%.
That was, Tatum was 1 for 9 in the fourth quarter. I mean, if you're cold, pass the ball. They said he to take the last second shot, which he missed. He ran like 14 seconds off the clock dribbling.
Yeah, I think they said it was like 18 dribbles.
Yeah.
But my aggravation with that, Dave, to cut you off, is not the end of the game, because everyone keeps saying it's the last 3 minutes.
You're up by 20 points.
My aggravation is with this is, we'll start with Missoula, all right? To me, it almost feels that he's a little pompous, because you got Dean Wade looking like D Wade last night, going off, and instead of saying, hey, let's cover this guy, it seems like his philosophy is, oh, he'll cool down.
Right.
We're not going to stop what we do. He'll cool down. Guys, don't worry about it. Don't worry about Dean Wade. Dean Wade's not going to beat us. Well, he did.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, Tatum's just 1 for 19. Pass the ball at that point, because
and the other guys are just, when he starts dribbling, they stand around because
it's what we used to see 2-3 years ago.
Yeah. It just reverted back to that last night. Jaylen Brown was complete 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. Complete. His stat line was a Luke Cornett early in the year-esque. Zeros.
Across the board. Yeah. And if a white guy's going to beat you, he better be named either Luka or Jokic, not Dean Wade.
Dean Wade.
Come on.
I mean,
I wish I watched the rest of the game so I can rip it apart. I feel like I shouldn't rip it apart because I didn't even see it. But I can guarantee I know what happened. They got into lapses defensively where they just let them do whatever they wanted to. Offensively, the ball became stagnant. They didn't move. The ball wasn't moving.
No,
and,
exactly.
And Missoula probably called 0 timeouts.
You didn't watch it?
I didn't watch it.
No.
But that's exactly what happens every single time they lose.
And that's what aggravates me is because you got that Golden State game where you came out that first quarter when Golden State actually was trying. You played some of the best defense I've saw all year from this team.
Yeah.
They were making these guys work.
Yeah, they're all over the court.
You couldn't do just a little bit of that against Dean Wade.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I think part of that is, I don't want to make excuses for them. I think beating Golden State doesn't mean anything to Golden State, but I think it does mean something to the Celtics team.
But it's I agree with you, but this win, I don't think they should have carried it with as much weight because Golden State gave up.
Right. But I think it meant more to the Celtics than it meant to Golden State.
Beating them down from the beginning, and like you said, they came out trying, and
but the game
you were
was
beating them down, and then they did give up.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You kept the foot on the gas.
Right. And then you had this game, which it's a number 2 seed, but they are 8 games out. And then tomorrow night you have the other game. So you had Golden State, which I think meant a lot to them. And tomorrow night is the big game in Denver. It's the team that beat you at home. It's the returning champs. I wonder if it's just a long season. Like, I'm not making excuses for them, but hopefully they come out tomorrow, guns blazing. And if they win that game tomorrow, we can kind of forget about, not forget, but it puts less on yesterday's loss.
Right, but the little thing. So, Paul, you're absolutely right. Paul's comment here. Paul from West Bridgewater. Brown had 21 points leading up to that last quarter. Why does the end of close games always rely just on Jason Tatum? These guys all need to be involved instead of just standing around. Completely agree.
But he wasn't very involved in the fourth quarter in general. And this is
Jaylen
Brown,
yeah.
and he was one player of the week last week or.
Yeah.
Something like that. He was one of the top players in the league.
Yeah, Tatum won player of the month. He won player of the week.
Yeah. I mean, he was on fire the other night, just throwing 3-pointers.
These guys are, until they prove us wrong, they're still mental midgets, right?
100%.
They're kind of front runners, and when the pressure gets on, you see collapses. Until they win a title, we're still going to label them mental midgets.
Yep, and it's just the collapse is completely... I mean, I can almost... look by the collapse, but in the last 3 minutes the game was tied, and we didn't do anything. Yeah. We just went away from game plan. We didn't go with the Luke Cornett. We didn't do. I'm sorry. I get the Kristaps Porzingis. We didn't do any of that. We didn't do any of the stuff that we've liked. They just completely just.
I think this team is good enough where you don't play iso ball. Keep that ball moving. You have 5 studs on the court. Yeah. And it looks so great, quarters 1 through 3. And then at times they revert back to what didn't bring them a title over the last few years. And it's just kind of hanging around and watching Tatum dribble or watching Brown dribble. And that's very easy to defend when you have one guy.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And then, like what Paul just said here, is it bad coaching or is it bad teamwork?
It's a little bit of both.
Last night was a perfect combination of both because they...
Yeah, even calling a timeout. Guys, settle down. We got this. We're up 5. Yeah. Settle down. And just let them catch their breath. Because the way momentum goes in sports, if you don't stop that momentum with a timeout, it just kind of keeps flowing. Call a timeout. Let these guys kind of regroup.
And I definitely... So with the coaching, I'm always going to blame Missoula. Because I just don't think... I do. I can't stand him. I don't think he's a good coach. I think this team would somebody... Jason Fields just wrote here, coaching, he's early day Eric Spoelstra. I can see that, but Eric Spoelstra always had control of even those stars. He really did.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
He had bigger stars because he had LeBron, he had D. Wade. Like, Missoula doesn't have control of these.
So what I was about to say is, like, a guy like Eric Spoelstra or a coach like that, you know, who has command of these guys enough that they listen to, what a different team we'd see. Right now, Missoula, I mean... When these guys want to tune them out, like last night, I have no doubt in my mind that Missoula was calling timeout and Tatum was just like, "No, I'm taking this." And that's...
There are videos of the Celtics in the locker room with Missoula talking, and nobody's paying attention.
Yeah.
So I think his job here is just to not get in the way. You know, Spoelstra can help lead a team. Spoelstra is the alpha. He really is. Missoula, not really.
Yep. And to get to Jake's comment here, Tatum blew the game. Jake, I think we all agree with you there, but it's one of those things. It's he's either going to blow the game or not. I mean, I know that's a stupid take right there, but what I'm saying is you get the games where he passes and felicitates the ball. I know I destroyed that word. Facilitates the ball, and you get on Tatum. Why aren't you taking the shot? Why aren't you that? Maybe that was a night that he was cold and he felicitated the ball. But it's like now he's taking it. I mean, he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. I think when he got up on the podium afterwards, he owned it, so I like that.
I just don't think Tatum has that it factor.
There are plenty of games that he has.
They haven't won a championship yet with it, though.
Right.
And that's the it factor I'm talking about. He doesn't have it
right.
in the playoffs.
I mean,
they blow it when they need him the most.
And Jake, I agree with you. Jake saying don't dribble the ball for 20 seconds, take the shot. I agree. They should have rushed that ball. They should have gotten a 2-for-1. But if he would have made that shot, right?
It'd be a different story.
Nobody would have been talking about it. But because he didn't, win the game. We're all over him.
And if they go into Denver tomorrow night and win by 10 points, we kind of forget. But this is a pattern that we've seen with this team.
Yeah,
you know, it's scary.
And all year, Tatum. This is. I know you want to say it's Tatum-esque, but this year, this is the outlier game this year. So far.
This has been one of the best seasons so far in NBA history. This has been a great team, and I think they're all starting to gel. I mean, we had 2 new pieces come into that starting lineup. Everyone's gelling. Let's not forget that they won 11 games in a row, and they're up 3 quarters. For 3 quarters, they had a meltdown. So let's see what the next 3 or 4 games. I'd like to see them. It might actually be a good loss because if they come back and they run the next 5 games after that, then it's like, all right, they messed up, they refocused, and then they beat Denver, and then they got another few games, tough games coming up after that.
They get Denver, Phoenix. Yep.
Right. So if they run the table for the next few games, it's like, all right, not a bad loss.
Yeah, a little hiccup in the road.
Yeah.
And you're right. Jacob right here writes, not to mention the size difference. They got the matchup they want, which pisses me off even more because they wanted Garland. And really, Tatum, and you're right, you're absolutely right. He should have backed him into the paint.
Yeah.
He should have taken it.
That's the one. I want to see Tatum go to the rack, take the foul. Right? Especially when you get these, like, whether it's a smaller guy or a bigger guy, you can take anyone to the rack.
And that's what, like, last night, if he's going to back him down to the paint.
Hit the high percentage
because you had last night, you had, what's his name there, Allen cheating. So there was a guy wide open somewhere.
Exactly. And if he takes it to the paint, someone's going to be wide open.
Right.
Get it to him.
And you have stars on the court with you. It's not like Kobe back in the day where just a bunch of plugs, right? Yeah. Kobe had to take the shot. Tatum doesn't have to. You can kick it out to a wide open Drew Holiday or Derek White or Jaylen Brown. So, but hopefully just like you said, a one-off, and we reset tomorrow night. Big game tomorrow night.
Big game tomorrow night because Denver came into here and beat us
when we were undefeated at home, right?
Right. Yeah,
and they wanted to be undefeated at home, and Denver came in,
and beat us.
We really couldn't stop Jokic. He just did whatever the hell he wanted to.
No. And that's fine with Jokic. If Jokic is going to beat you, that's fine. But the problem with that game is Jokic and Jamal Murray had 30+ points.
Yeah.
You know?
But I feel like Jokic just like dominated. He got the ball inside, just dominated the tempo, and that's a team that you might be seeing later on in the playoffs. So you better figure it out fast.
To go back a few comments here to Paul Connor's comment here.
My boy.
With the timeout, do you think they were? He asked, with the timeout, do you think they were wrong with the amount of time on the clock? Did we get screwed? I don't think we got screwed. I don't.
It shouldn't have got to that point.
Yeah. I can't even go to that because it's even last night if he hit the shot we still would have been talking about they blew the game. The miscues down the end of it.
Yeah.
So
it's almost better that you lose a game like that than if you win a game like that. Because if you win a game like that, you think you can get away with it, and maybe it happens again in the future. You lose that game, now it's like a nice little kick in the gut, and now you got to refocus, and you got the toughest team in the NBA to play right now in Denver.
Yeah.
In Denver. It's a tough place to play over there, too.
Yep. Yeah, so our next 5 games, you get Denver and Denver, then you're playing Phoenix, and then we get Portland, Utah, Phoenix again, and then Washington.
Okay, so you got 3 out of 6 tough games.
So we got a nice little run going here, but
still the number 1 team in basketball record-wise by far, right?
And I'm sure none of us will see that Denver game because it's at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
I'm watching it. I'm a night owl. I'll be watching it.
Yeah.
No, I'll be sleeping.
Yeah, they will
Good.
be
You can fill everybody in.
I'll let you guys know.
So,
What are we going to talk about next? Are we going to go football?
I mean, do you want to stay with doom and gloom and how people blow
I don't know. I
leads
mean,
and things like
a
that?
lot of people love to talk football. So,
Let's go football.
I mean,
All right, let's stick with football and let's go with.
I have people that love to watch the combine
Okay.
and have to send me. I get messages all the time about guys at the combine. So I've actually been watching some of the clips, and I'm telling you, the more I see J.J. McCarthy, the more I want that kid.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with J.J.
Oh, my
McCarthy.
God.
You want someone to do with
60-yard
okay
bombs.
Here's our argument: 60-yard bombs down the field. Did you actually watch it, Dave? He did not hit any player going off route, doing corner routes to the
He
outside.
threw some nice
no,
balls.
none of them were good. You had receivers
I
going
disagree.
everywhere, and then you had that footage coming out of the guys in the when they were in the hotel. He didn't even hit one of those guys dead on. J.J. McCarthy is an absolute bum. If he is drafted in the first round, it's going to be a franchise
This
destroying
is a
pick.
typical. Mike knows I like him, so
No,
he's
this has
gonna
got nothing
trash
to do
him.
with that because I sat up here last week or 2 weeks
The
ago
kid- the
talking
kid's
about
gonna be
it.
good.
He's
He's a
not going to
winner.
be good.
He's a winner.
And then listen to the smug attitude afterwards. He is.
The
I
smug
can't stand this
attitude.
kid. I
Caleb
can't.
Williams won't even throw at the combine.
Okay, but we're not talking about Caleb
I
Williams.
know
We're
that,
not
but
talking
you're
about
talking
any
about
of
a
these
smug
guys.
attitude.
We're talking,
this
because we're
kid's
talking
supposed
about
to be the
J.J.
number
McCarthy.
one overall pick.
JJ, he is. This guy is one of these guys that he's a single read option, and he's going to bomb it down the middle of the field. And if you have a great wide receiver, he will catch it over the middle. Other than that,
Nope.
you're screwed with this guy.
He's going to be a good player in the league.
Him,
Better than
Drake May, bust
Bo
all
Nix.
around.
All right.
Paul Connor's still on Bo Nix.
It's just, Dave, go back and watch the videos. This guy couldn't hit a single one of the receivers. Why? He threw one nice ball down the field, a
He had some
60-yard
nice
ball.
I saw it. I mean, obviously, I just saw highlights, but he threw some nice balls.
Yeah, they just showed
There's
you
a
the
lot
highlights.
of lot of good comments about him from some of the experts.
Yeah, it's did you see what they're doing right now? Is they realize it's bad, so they're really trying to pump all this positive to move them up in the draft. You never saw Ballers with The Rock. The NFL hated that show because of how real it was, and they showed how they did that to draft picks. How they bumped up the talk to get the bums up there.
I remember, this might be going back about 20, 30 years. There was a guy out of Boston College by the name of Mike Mamula. He was supposed to be a third or fourth round pick, and he just crushed it at the combine.
Ended up going earlier, right?
Eagles drafted him number 9 overall. Oof. And I think there's a difference between being an athlete at the combine and what you truly do on the football field. One of my concerns with J.J. McCarthy was the same concern with Mac Jones. He's got a great team, a great offensive line, great weapons. And when you're playing games, sometimes you look a little bit better than what you are. So, I don't know. I mean, initially, they didn't have McCarthy as a first-round pick.
But that's why I would sit if he's there in the second round, I would take him.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna take McCarthy in the second and third round, I'm fine with that. My aggravation is
I'm not
first
taking
round
him in
pick.
the top 10.
There's been
top
talk, and I'm like,
15.
you got to be kidding me that this guy's
No.
moved up the draft
I mean, if
board.
they're going to take a quarterback at 3, I'm honestly leaning towards Jaden Daniels.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%. I would love
Yeah,
Jaden
But I don't
Daniels.
think he's going to be there. And this is my biggest fear. Don't take a quarterback at 3 because you feel like you're supposed to take a
Right.
quarterback
If
at
the
3.
guy you want
is there?
is there, you take him.
If not,
Take the offensive lineman or Harrison
trade
Jr.
back and get the offensive lineman at 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I'm fearful that we make a mistake just because we feel like we need the quarterback, because the Jets need the quarterback with Zach Wilson. Trey Lance was number 3 overall. I'm almost thinking, now hear me out, I know everyone's going to hate it. If you don't like the quarterback, if you like Drake at number 3, take him. But if you don't, I would be
move
okay. Well, do we know where we're going with this?
Go ahead.
I would be okay. I'd be more than okay. Then this guy said he would play for the league minimum. You bring in Russell Wilson for $900,000.
Okay, we'll get to the Russell Wilson. I want I want to
You know
continue
why
with a
he'll
little
play
more.
for league minimum though?
Because he's
He's
getting
getting
paid
paid
$40 million.
Right.
But that's not your problem.
No, it's not.
So if you
It's a
can,
good problem. For,
I mean,
for the
he's
Patriots,
not
yeah, but
he's not a top 5 quarterback, but he did throw.
He had it's not percentage, statistical wise, he had one of
He
the
can
best
still
years
produce.
of his career.
He could be a nice bridge quarterback until you find your guy. Because if you feel like we don't really like Drake at number 3, why take him?
Yeah, I'm with you on the Drake. I don't if the number 3 pick comes around and for some reason Caleb Williams drops or Jaden Daniels is there, those are the 2 guys you want to pick. I think your McCarthy is a second round guy. Drake May, and I know a lot of people love him. I get this feel. I've had it all year with Drake May that I think he's going to be a bust.
Okay.
I think Drake May is going to be a bust. So if you get that number 3 pick, you can trade out of it, take the offensive lineman, go wherever you want. But I'm going to be disappointed by them saying Drake May is there, and I'm just going to grab him.
Right. That's my fear. And right now, you need to know right now what you're doing with that 3rd pick.
Yeah.
Right?
You do.
Because you got quarterbacks that are going to be signing in a week. And you got to figure this out. You don't have until if you feel like, because I don't think you can sign Russell Wilson and still bring in Jaden Daniels. I think that'll be a problem.
Yeah.
So if you think Daniels is gone and you don't like Drake May, I'd pick up Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Russell Wilson is not a guy that's going to teach. You need to be careful.
He's a starter. He wants that position.
You need to sign a guy. This is where the Patriots going to have the problem. If you're going to take a quarterback and you're truly going to sit him, and you need to find a bridge quarterback, you're going to hate what I'm going to say.
I'd rather have Jacoby Brissett for that.
Yep, you're going to stick with your Mac Jones or Jacoby Brissett.
I'd get Mac Jones the hell out of here. Mac Jones is a little bitch.
You're right. You know
I'd
what?
have Jacoby
I'd take back
more
Jacoby Brissett.
More of a mature man, right? I'm here to help lead this young guy. I'm going to help coach him up.
Like even a guy in the Minshew, he's young. He wants a starting spot, but he understands the role
His
that he's
role,
had.
yeah.
You know, I see the Baker Mayfield comment here with Paul.
Yeah, he's getting $35
I don't think he's
million.
leaving.
Mike Evans was signed. Baker Mayfield signing next.
And I don't want Baker Mayfield for $35 million or whatever the hell he's going to get. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if I can get Russell Wilson, I'll
That's-
keep talking about it for
yeah.
$1 million.
But see,
Now-
I'm poo-pooing it here because as an Atlanta Falcons fan, I am pushing hard. I think Russell Wilson
would be a good fit
would
there.
be a huge, would be a
Indoors.
great pick. Indoors,
Yep.
he's got a great weapons around
Yep.
him. I'm looking forward to a Russell Wilson going to Atlanta.
Question for you, and both of you can answer, and the people at home can answer this as well. Patriots won how many games this year? 4?
Yeah.
They were 4-13.
Yep.
If Russell Wilson was their quarterback this year, how many games do they win?
7.
Oh, come on.
Probably more than that. Yeah.
They had 3 games in a row that they lost 10-0.
I think the problem is
6-0 to
No,
Indy.
I think the problem with it is though, guys, is I don't think Russell Wilson in the Bill Belichick game plan would have meshed last year. I don't. And I think a Russell Wilson working here under what we think the new optics with this team is going to be behind Gerard Mayo, there's a little bit more hope. I don't think Russell Wilson, with the team that we had on the field last year, would have worked.
I don't think the team was great offensively, but there were games that they just gave up 10 points.
I love it. Thank you, Paul Connors and Jason Fields. Both agree
7.
with the 7
Both
wins
wrong.
comment.
Probably wrong.
So-
They should be on the show.
So if they were to pick up Russell Wilson right away, just Harrison Jr. is your pick, number 3.
You know what? I'm almost. They're saying Louis Riddick said there are 8 guys, 8 wide receivers in this draft that are gonna be studs. I would rather trade back, pick up an additional pick, grab an offensive lineman, re-sign Owenu, pick up a wide receiver. If there's 8 wide receivers, there's gonna be one there in the second round. So you get Owenu back, a left tackle, and a wide receiver to go along with Douglas. Not bad. With Russell Wilson, not bad.
Yeah, I think that's a good team. I agree.
20 points. You could score 20
Like
points.
Marvin Harrison is definitely that
Might be the premier one.
premier that can't miss guy, and some of these other guys, they're all graded the same. They're all good guys, but Harrison is definitely that can't miss guy.
And I feel like I've talked about it before, but you've got Rice and you've got McCaffrey.
Yep.
Later, those are guys that you just draft them on name alone.
Yeah.
They're gonna be good players.
Yeah.
I agree.
Joe Alt, he's supposed to be the first left tackle, right?
Yeah.
Out of Notre Dame.
He's
He's going to be number.
First or second.
Yeah,
Penn-
there's
you
another-
got guys saying Penn State has a guy that's a little better, but Alt, I almost go with him just because his father was in the NFL.
If you can go back to 5, grab him, and then pick up because these quarterbacks have a lot of value. So if there's someone that loves a quarterback at 3, you're going to get another first-round pick.
Yeah.
Or an additional
first,
second.
A second, maybe a third,
Right.
maybe something next year. Yeah, you're going to get
you could
quite a haul for that third pick, especially if someone really falls in love with one of those quarterbacks that's available. If Caleb Williams drops, if the Bears don't take him number 1, then whoever's picking second or third is going to be able to trade for a lot.
Right.
So, I get it with Jason Fields here writes Williams is a crybaby. I do think that. I think we all think that. But the skill with this guy, you can't overlook the skill with Williams. And he's one of those guys that you draft at 3. If he's there, you got to take him.
Oh, 100%.
The upside is too much with this guy. If he can get into a system that fits him and a team builds on his strengths, the sky's the limit with this kid.
Yeah. And if you have a quarterback that you kind of like, you almost have to swing for the fences because that's the position in the NFL that you need that position. So if you don't like Drake May and you're like, I don't think I get it. But if you have someone that's supposed to be the number 1 pick and he's there and everyone has him rated a little bit higher.
I feel like what we saw from Caleb Williams this year was against good teams. He shit the bed.
So
he did not look good.
I agree with you there, but the talent is there, and that is
it might be there, but
that's something you can coach up. If a guy, go ahead. Sorry,
the way he talks,
he's
and the way his father speaks for him, he thinks he's running the league, and he's not even in it yet.
Yeah, that's the young population.
That aggravates the hell out of me. I know.
And guys don't want to play with a guy like that.
But you really you're gonna not draft this guy because he's a whiny bitch, everything you hate. But the talent is there.
No, I just think he's a cancer.
But what's gonna happen is he's gonna drop. A team's gonna take him.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, I let this guy drop past us.
I don't think he drops.
I'm saying if you know, like you're gonna pass over this guy because of that.
He's gonna have to go to a team the coach is gonna give him total control because if they don't, he's gonna cry like Mac Jones.
And everybody loves Drake May. Watch more Drake May clips. Watch more Drake May interviews. Drake May is the same as Caleb Williams, guys. He is the same entitled prick.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Drake May either.
He put on he tried in the interviews in this combine to come off like they were so scripted the way he was talking. It's like everybody got in this guy's ear going, "You just shut up. Just read what's on the script."
Yeah.
But if you go through YouTube, listen to Drake May. Listen to the way he talks. He's the same thing, but not as much talent.
No.
And because he played in North Carolina and not in USC, it wasn't in your face the way that Williams was.
I just look at guys like Bo Nix, Penix, Jaden Daniels. I think because they're not talked about as much as Caleb Williams and Drake May, I think they feel like they got a little more to prove. But I also feel like they seem more coachable than these other guys. I mean, when you're talking about you don't need an agent and you're going to try to work yourself into a deal that goes it's out of the whatever the player's contract, the union, they have set parameters for the number 1 pick. There's only so much you can make on your first contract. He thinks he's going to go outside and get, sign a Patrick Mahomes deal.
Yeah.
So
you haven't even set foot on an NFL field yet.
Yeah, I think these young kids, they don't realize reality yet. And I think being around veteran guys, too, I think he'll be all right. These are young 21, 22-year-old kids. I mean, he's a little bit of a bitch, but...
And there have been a lot of things that Caleb Williams has been reported saying. Reported.
Yeah.
Not witnessed.
Right.
Not heard. Now, granted, he has said some things.
Yeah, and there was a video with him in his car, like bragging about his car. It just didn't rub people the right way.
There's been so much hatred and things that this guy has said that you're like, well, there's really no evidence of him saying that.
He just hasn't done anything yet to really...
None of these quarterbacks. What any of these quarterbacks have done.
His team wasn't
except
that
for
good.
Jaden Daniels.
His team wasn't that good.
I'll tell you what. I watched a lot of USC. I want to say it was 2 or 3 years ago. I think at the time I had a girlfriend, so I was home on Saturday nights, and their games were on at 10 o'clock. Now I'm going out. But anyways, he seemed back then, I remember watching him, and he seemed very mature in the pocket. And he knew when to run. He knew when to Caleb Williams.
Yeah, beginning of the season.
Yeah. Not this past season. I'm talking about 2 years ago. And he just looked like a very mature quarterback. Maybe not mature off the field. Maybe that comes in time. But he looked like he knew how to play football. Didn't seem like bothered. Didn't seem like he got in panic mode. So, I don't know. What I saw from him a few years ago, he looked pretty solid. Knew when to run. And could run, so yeah, we'll see. But if they all have him pigeonholed as the number one pick, he's going number one. I don't think if the Bears don't want him, they're going to trade out to someone that wants him at number one.
100%. But I think they're going to take him.
You think they're going to take him? Yeah,
I think they have
What's
to.
Paul asking us here?
So I want to hear what you guys think of the top 6 or 7 quarterbacks in the draft. Who is going to be a stud and who's? I'll tell you what. If Penix can stay healthy, he could be a player. He could be a player. He's got a beautiful arm.
I think with Penix, you're absolutely right, but it comes down to the team and system. The team and system. Because he could be drafted with a team, and I'm going to say it again, team and system doesn't fit him, and Penix is going to
I got a question for you. San Francisco drafts him.
Oh.
Nasty.
Yep. 100%.
Nasty.
Yep.
And if I was San Fran, I'd really consider him late in the first round.
Yep.
The team is set up.
New Orleans Saints draft him.
I don't know much about New Orleans. I'm sure he'll have some problems there. Yeah, I think the problem is
Denver Broncos draft him.
Yeah, I think the problem is he's someone like that better off going to a team with weapons that is kind of like made to just plug and play a quarterback.
But I also think a lot of these guys need to sit a year.
Yeah.
They bring them in and throw them out there right away.
Right,
and
right.
A lot of these guys can't handle it, and that's probably what happened to like Zach Wilson and guys like that. I mean,
I feel like Penix is older though, right?
He is older,
and Zach Wilson
Bo Nix.
would show immaturity at time where maybe it's an age thing.
I've fallen for Jaden Daniels. I love everything I've seen. I love hearing him. He seems to say the right things, and they seem genuine. I don't know. To me, he's got it. I think he's going to be the stud.
Do you trade up to number 2?
This is what I've been thinking about with the Patriots. I almost think you trade up to make sure you get him.
Yeah, okay.
I do.
If you hit a home run on the quarterback, there's no price that's too big.
I don't think you trade up. You're at 3. If he's there at 3 and you really love him, you take him.
I don't see.
I don't think he's going 1 or 2.
I don't see how Washington can pass on him. I think there's too
much.
much.
They're going to take Drake May.
I think Drake May is going to fall, and I think that's what I'm worried about the Patriots. I'm just worried that the Patriots are going to be like, oh, Drake May is there. They're going to take him. And I just see bust all over Drake May. I see
this whole draft could be loaded with busts at quarterback. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that it happened a few years ago. Yeah. We ended up with Mac Jones.
Oh God,
set us back a few years.
Yeah. Ultimately, when you draft the wrong quarterback, it costs the head coach their job.
Yeah. So we got a ton of time still to weeks and weeks to get into more draft. But what about the free agents and what's going on? What are you thinking with the Patriots? I don't understand their move. I don't think anybody understands their move with Duggar.
See, this is my problem bringing in Gerard Mayo. He's a defensive guy. We should have franchised Owenu, or at the very least done whatever tag they did, the transition tag. Dude, we need Owenu here. We do not. Our defense is pretty good. We have Peppers, who plays a very similar style to Duggar's.
Peppers was like their best defensive
Peppers
player
was a stud last year. And I'd like to have them both, but you know what? We need Owenu, so if we draft a left tackle, now we have bookends on the offensive line. If we lose Owenu, now you need 2 tackles. I don't know.
Which is not saying they're going to lose Owenu. But they're not tagging him.
He's a free agent.
I mean,
but see, why would you do that? Let him go, like you just said. I'm all for franchise Owenu, and then just see what happens. Because what just happened today with Porter and White, by the Bills, they got cut. Adams got cut in Seattle. There's been a couple other guys there that have been cut. I mean,
and you have Peppers. You already have someone that kind of plays.
Poyer?
Huh?
Poyer?
Yeah.
Safety.
Yep. Let him go. Let him go out to the market.
See what the market brings.
There's a lot of good defensive players that are on the market.
I wonder if they're kind of like, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, because as soon as they did, all these other dominoes started falling, and I think
could have got this guy for like $7 million. Yeah. Now we're paying him $14 million or whatever the hell it is.
So when does the tampering period start? Is that like the week before the league
Yeah.
year? So
Yeah.
they can actually agree to a deal, but
Agree
they
to.
can't be signed until
Yeah.
That's coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna see a lot of players agreeing this weekend. Should be interesting.
I mean, because there's a lot of big names out there. I mean, everyone keeps talking about Mixon's going to get released. I mean, look at all the other running backs that are out there this year. And I think that's the most fun part to watch. You got Henry out there. You got Swift out there. You got Jacobs
Barkley.
out there. You got Barkley out there. You got Austin Eckler out there. You have, I mean, there's even more names out there that second tier. I know everybody says the running backs are dying, but if you have a bell cow running back,
You gotta have you still have to have a good running back.
Yeah. But we kind of do.
We do. I don't know if Zeke's coming
not-
back.
He's not as elite as some of those other guys, but I'd rather have Owenu than one of those running backs. Owenu and Stevenson. I feel like the tackles, wide receivers, and quarterbacks, those are the positions on offense. And maybe the tight end. I don't think the running back matters as much. I think these other players make the running back.
I mean, you got a pass catching running back.
Pass catching running. Yes.
You got a Saquon
McCaffrey.
Barkley or Saquon Barkley or a Josh Jacobs or a Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Ooh, that
Yeah.
immediately changes your
Barkley
offense.
gets hurt a lot,
yeah.
though. Barkley does get hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you get McCaffrey,
James White was a
McCaffrey's not a
huge
free
player.
not available. But that guy, that type of guy, kind of changes your
James
offense.
White
Yeah.
changed
Yes.
games for
Yeah.
the Patriots.
Yeah, and they always had guys like that. They had J.R. Redmond. They had Falk. They had Shane Vereen. They
Vereen,
always
yeah.
had that pass
Yeah.
catching back.
They have the money to completely alter and change and put not just a playoff, a contending team out there.
They do. They just don't have the allure to bring those guys in.
Just think that if just hear me out. I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but you draft a left tackle. You pick up this guy from they're going after. They've shown interest in. I can't remember his name off the tip of my tongue, but the guy from Dallas. You just shored up your offensive line. You sign Russell Wilson. You pick up an Austin Eckler. You know.
Yeah, your offense changes immediately.
Dress him because you have the defense.
Yeah, yes.
Still got to sign some players on D. They got a few guys that are free to go.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, overall, you have
just bringing in a guy like Russell Wilson changes your offense immediately.
Yep.
I mean, like you and a few others said, 7 wins. That's still 3 more wins than what they had last year.
And it changes
just
the
by
mood
adding
of the
one
team
player.
too. Like
Right.
you think you're going to win, and let's not forget they might lose a piece or two on defense. Their best 2 players are coming back
from injury.
from
Right.
injury.
Yeah.
So you're almost getting like 2 like legit big time free agents with Matthew Judon and Gonzalez.
Imagine that.
yeah.
Imagine that a Poyer out there at safety. That
I'd
guy
love
can
to
still,
see him in a Patriots
A
uniform.
Poyer with Gonzalez and then Judon up front.
Peppers.
Jabril Peppers.
Jabril
Yeah.
Peppers.
Barmore.
Yeah.
But I think that's why we need to sign Owenu.
And Jason Fields here writes, the problem is you have a defensive-minded coach yet again.
I'm with
so
you.
How much emphasis does he put on drafting offense?
Yeah.
This year they have to put all the emphasis.
The emphasis
on
should be
offense.
the draft and the free agent money should be pretty much all going towards the offense.
The caveat to this is Jared Mayo is not going to be the primary person drafting the players.
Yep.
What's his name? I started off I should have started with the name right off the bit because but the guy that I can't remember right now is going to be Elliot Wolf. He is going to be. He's already come out and said he's going to be the guy drafted. Yep.
Yeah, you have to run your team like that. Belichick comes from old school. You know, he makes all the decisions. Well, a lot of the other teams have a GM, have other personnel that are helping out with these decisions. And Belichick, he took it so personally when they said, no, we're taking this guy. And he, all right, fine. Well, when he screws up, I'm going to throw it right back in your face. And that's what he did. And Mac Jones was not his guy. And he threw it back in their face for 3
100%.
years.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, it's all new to us because we haven't seen this in over 20 years.
I mean, just coming in right now with NFL free agency and NBA free agency periods are the 2 most fun
Yeah, it's great.
non-season part.
Yeah, it's great.
You know, because we're gonna have fast and heavy movement. We're gonna have
Yeah.
some good shows coming up.
Hopefully we partake.
Yeah.
The New England Patriots, because most years we don't.
Should be interesting.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, very much so.
Bring me in Saquon Barkley, huh? Do something for me.
We
All right,
going, we
it's my
going
time
into
to
the.
Is it your time?
This is a very exciting time for the NHL. Trade deadline coming up Friday.
Who just got traded today, Dave?
Tarasenko went to Florida, already the top team in the league, and just got better. So
Oh yeah, that's
Tarasenko's
a great move.
Still up.
Yeah.
That's huge.
and that they just leapfrogged us in the standings.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't get the.
Nope. Doesn't.
No, not working tonight. No, guess we're gonna go into the Bruins minute without the sound.
Yep. Oh well.
So they go to Toronto, and Jeremy Swayman steals a game from Toronto. I mean, just unbelievable. And I have to bring this up because this drives me crazy, and it's always a Canadian team. But Mitch Marner, you're a joke. I don't care how many goals you score, how many points you score. He does the fake, throws his head back like he got high stick. He did it twice, and he got the calls. That is such a bitch move. And you know what? I hope you get pounded on in the playoffs. And I hope you don't get any penalty calls for your little fake head snap.
I like it. You feel right now that you're talking directly to him.
I wish he heard this because the kid's talented. You don't need to do that stuff. There's no need of it in the league. The Montreal Canadiens had a few players that did it years ago against the Bruins all the time. PK Subban was one of them. There was always just a fake head snap back, and there's a penalty for high sticking.
Yeah.
And he got called out on it a lot on social media after the game. No need of it. They're coming to Boston tomorrow night. Maybe we'll see some more of it. Unfortunately, the Bruins don't have anyone on the team that can go out there and just beat them down. But Swayman will probably be in net tomorrow night. Oh, we got the sound. There
Coming
it
to
is.
Boston tomorrow night?
Toronto will be in town tomorrow night. And
Hey, this is the last
hopefully
time we heard the song was against the Maple Leafs.
yeah, pretty much.
You know?
Last night's game, boy, how boring was that? 0-0 going into the third, and the Bruins score, and then empty net. Danton Heinen takes a whack at it, hits the post. Edmonton goes the other way, ties the game with 1:20 left, and then, as usual, they lose in overtime. So, not fun.
So, Dave, since last Wednesday, all right, they lost to Calgary again, all right?
Yeah, how many overtime games? Because that seems to be like a good bet on DraftKings is
Then we lost
taking them in overtime.
Well, my timeline's all messed up here. So so they beat Vancouver,
Yep,
all right?
barely. Yep.
And they got blown out by the Islanders.
Yeah, I don't even know.
That was an awful game.
Yeah.
That was again we keep saying that was one of the worst that we see, but they keep blowing us away by having more awful games.
Yeah, the effort isn't there every night, and they're not benching anyone for these poor games.
No, but so then you come back, you get destroyed by Islanders, then you come back and you play pretty good against Toronto.
They hustled.
Yes.
I'll give them that. They hustled. They were outplayed. Toronto is a much better team, but
Swayman played out of his mind, 32 saves.
Right, and that's the reason you won that game. Last night, Allmark was great.
Yep.
And, I mean, that's been the story all year with this Bruins team is even when the effort's there, they're getting wins because of their goaltending. But they're also getting losses.
They've also lost 14 overtime games.
I think that was 15.
15 last night. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. It's sad because you'd think with the offensive talent that they have for a 3-on-3, you'd think they'd win some more of these games.
Saving grace is when they get into playoffs, we won't have that overtime.
No, but I'm afraid of, the Rangers, Carolina.
That was the next thing. We're dropping steadily.
Yeah,
we just got leapfrogged by Florida. The Rangers are nipping out of heels. They have 84 points. The Maple Leafs aren't too far behind that. So when the Maple Leafs come to town, if they beat us, I mean, they're right in there. I mean, if we keep playing this way and just eking out 1 point while these other teams keep winning, we can squeak down to fourth place, fifth place by the time the playoffs run out.
If they end up being the last wild card and they have to go to Florida and play it, you're not going to make it 7 games with Florida.
No.
Florida
Absolutely
is
not.
stacked. They've got the goaltending. They've got the defense. They went and got another offensive weapon. I mean, the Bruins don't have any draft picks to trade for any of these players. You have to offer up what you have on the team, which none of them have much trade value.
No.
Hallmark is the only one, and he can say no to any trade.
What about DeBrusque? Nobody wants DeBrusque.
DeBrusque finally scored the other day against Toronto.
did.
I think he watched the reel. But Olmark, it keeps coming up. I know Jake here mentioned that last week. Olmark, I think it makes too much money. He's not going anywhere. I'm a firm believer that this team is not going to make a move. It's not going to happen. I think we're going to ride out the rest of the season this way.
They don't have the money. They don't have draft picks. They don't have any talent on their team right now that anyone wants other than like a McAvoy who's untradeable. Pasternak, they're not going to trade. Marchand, he's just old. No one. I mean, great player, but no one's going to trade for him right now unless he says I want to go to a cup contender.
Yep.
He's here till he retires.
And Jason Fields tonight. This is comment number 2. I give you the crush in it tonight. The problem is that after the All-Star break, he says, teams with talent started playing for the keeps, and it exposed the lack of talent that the Bruins have.
Yes. Yeah. And people who think Hampus Lindholm is going to change anything when he comes back from injury, watch the playoffs from last year and the year before and tell me if you saw him out there. Because he was terrible.
It's going to be a tough road.
It is, and they have so much money invested in some of these guys that they can't get rid of. They locked them up to long deals. They're pretty much screwed. They have to trade Allmark because they have to re-sign Swayman, and the only way to do that is to get rid of Allmark. But like I said, he can say no. So it's. I mean, trade deadline's Friday. If they don't make a move soon, they're not making a move, and.
Tony's getting very antsy.
I know.
Bruins minute has gone for now 5 minutes.
Bruins hour.
Well, I mean, we spent 10 on the Celtics, so we spent 15 trying to get the video going.
True.
Tony is dying to talk about the Red Sox and their
fuck
injuries.
Those guys. Yeah. So Lucas Giolito just went down what looks like a season-ending injury. So that was their big free agent signing of 2 years at roughly $39 million. It's ironic that they trade Chris Sale, pick up the majority of his contract. Chris Sale looks great in Atlanta right now, looks healthy. Vaughn Grissom, who they traded him for, is hurt, not starting the season, it looks like. And the guy they signed to replace Chris Sale in the rotation, Lucas Giolito, looks like he's out the year.
What about the guy that we got in the Chris Sale trade, too, as well?
Vaughn Grissom, I mentioned that.
He mentioned it.
So, yeah, and now the Jordan Montgomery was supposed to be brought in to help Pavetta, Lucas Giolito, Brian Bayo. They're not going to sign him now. What's the point? There's no point. So, because a lot of people are like, well, that means they're going to sign Jordan Montgomery now. They're not going to sign him.
They're still haggling over money.
Yeah, in their mind, season's over. Because if we sign Jordan Montgomery, all that's doing is replacing Lucas Giolito. We need another guy on top of that. What's the point of signing Jordan Montgomery for $25 million a year? So in my opinion, they're not going to sign him. They're probably going to go even cheaper with like a Mike Clevenger type for about $8 to $10 million. this is going to be a tough season. Going to be a tough season. And it's unfortunate because I think the type of guys they have on this team, they play hard. And they're going to want to win. And they just don't, the ownership group didn't help them enough to put a real major league team out there.
And it seems like a lot of them are already deflated.
I'd be deflated.
I mean, at the trade deadline last year,
yes, that's when it started.
They were deflated, and then now they're going into spring training, and they're going, wait a minute, you still haven't done anything to help us out. We're trying.
Yeah, and unfortunately for that team last year, they worked hard up until the trade deadline. They were playing above their heads. Yeah. And the number one sign of this team being deflated, first day of practice, Alex Cora did not show up.
Yeah.
He said he was sick. Baseball players or baseball managers, they don't miss days. When was the last time you saw a baseball manager? They don't miss days.
No.
Like, I've never heard of anybody, like, not being at a game or being at practice because they were sick. He wasn't sick. He's very angry with this ownership group. And I'm not a big Alex Cora fan, but he has every reason in the world to be angry with this group.
Exactly.
I don't know what else there is to say. This team sucks.
There's not much. Yeah, there's not much you can say.
Well, you got a lot of guys all of a sudden now faking. I didn't mean to say fake. You got like Duran day to day with the ankle.
Yep.
Jansen day to day. I forget there was somebody else today they just mentioned that's dated. Like all these guys.
Yeah. Well, I think Duran had off-season surgery on his toe, and I think they're very. He's a runner, so you got to be very careful. He's supposed to be in the lineup tomorrow. Jansen is frustrated because he knows they were trying to trade him. He's like, this isn't why I signed here. I mean, I was told we were going to win.
Yeah.
Or we were going to at least attempt to win. So I could see why he's frustrated too, because he's an older guy. He doesn't have much time left playing Major League Baseball, and he wants to be on a competitive team. He came from L.A., where every year they were competitive, thought he would get that same energy here, but the different ownership group, they're not putting the team out there.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him for being upset. So, you know what? If we see Kenley Jansen, like, upset and kind of mouthing off, hey, good for him.
Yeah, 100%. All right, that's it for the Red Sox.
Yeah, frustrating. But you know what? Like, it's going to give us a lot to talk about because I feel like everyone's on the same page with the Boston Red Sox.
And that's
Everyone's
good.
pissed off.
I'm hoping more and more people get on that page.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, have you
Breslow. Breslow also came out and said, I had a different opinion of how this offseason would go. I don't think it's Breslow's fault.
No.
Because
not at all.
The other owners are coming out and saying, we kind of wanted to do more.
It wasn't Hein
Bloom. It's John Henry.
You get Henry sinking the Red Sox, sinking Liverpool, sinking Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to be sellers right now at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
You know, you get Sidney Crosby having an unbelievable season, and you get...
He might want out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But I think what John Henry's saying, these teams might suck, but their value keeps going up because people love sports, and I keep making money, so I don't really give a shit. You know?
Yeah.
And it's frustrating for fans.
Oh, awful.
It's not right.
Not right. So, speaking of not right, the Dynasty series.
I haven't watched it. I've heard a lot.
So I've caught, and not right is... I love it. I love everything about this Dynasty series. I truly enjoy it. But the last two episodes, the Aaron Hernandez episode, which has been getting a lot of the talk, and I feel that this episode, they wanted to put their spin, their narrative on the Aaron Hernandez so they could try to come back out of it looking a little bit better than what they did. And I think so much time has passed that people didn't forget about what happened. But it was kind of like no one was talking about it anymore. And I think the way that they did this episode, they really painted Aaron Hernandez. I mean, not that he wasn't deserving of being painted in a negative light, but they really, really said some things from behind the scenes that you're like, you didn't need to say that about the guy. And kind of...
He's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, let him be.
Let it be.
And I get that I'm happy that they touched on Hernandez because you couldn't do this Dynasty series without, but you didn't need to do a standalone episode of trying to defend yourself.
Right.
And then I heard they also made Belichick look bad in it. How Belichick had a chance to ship him out of here and he offered security. Hernandez turned it down.
Yes, but I don't. So everyone's blaming Belichick for that.
I don't blame him for that.
I don't blame him because everyone's like, oh, he was trying to get out because listen to what he said. He wanted because he felt his kid and his wife. No. He was trying to run from the double murder in Rhode Island that he had just commit that July. He felt the heat knew he needed to get out of town.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then tried to get
From what I'm
away.
hearing, this kind of sounds like the Kraft propaganda production of just kind of
There
making
was-
them look better. You
There's
know,
just no need to talk about.
and here's another thing
Fernandez
too. I hear that Bill Belichick is kind of being painted as like the evil guy,
Go ahead. I want to. I'm just. This is a reminder for me.
and I like. I wonder if like, is this why? I don't know. I just feel like you fire Belichick. Let's unleash this. Like I don't know. It just kind of, to me, in my opinion, it kind of makes the Crafts look a little bit worse.
Okay, I agree with you there, but everyone's like, oh, this is the Belichick hit piece. I don't think this is a Belichick hit piece. I think Belichick, the way that he's responding to interviews and questions in this documentary is...
Right. Another thing, too. It is the Kraft Productions. They're chopping, and they're getting whatever they want out of Belichick. So if they want to paint him in a bad way, they could take out all the humorous things he says. My buddy was on Biggest Loser Season 5, and he said, they had me crying on every single episode. He's like, my older brother cried just as much as I did. Everybody in the house was crying. I was the only one they showed crying. He's like, they made my brother look like kind of like a jerk. They made me look like a sensitive.
So that's what if that is what they did to make it look okay, then it's a Belichick hit piece. But I don't see, like I hear the sports radio and the other things talk about it. I don't see, other than them, if they had clipped Belichick just not answering questions. Other than that, I don't see where everyone's like, oh, well, they're painting him in a negative light. Am I oblivious to it? I don't.
I haven't watched 1 minute of it. Because I heard early on that it was going to be like a negative thing on Belichick and making the Crafts look great, and the fact that if it wasn't a Kraft production, maybe I would watch it, but I don't like to hear one side of the story.
But it's funny, everyone's like, but it doesn't make Kraft look good, because every time Kraft...
I think it's backfiring.
Every time Kraft gets in, and you've said it here week in and week out through the football season, and whenever Kraft gets on the microphone...
He's an idiot.
Yeah, he's a complete idiot.
Yeah.
And even in the Aaron Hernandez episode, when he gets on the mic at the end and starts offering his apology, I'm just like, oh, somebody cut his microphone.
The only time you hear good things about Kraft and the family is when they put it out.
Yeah.
We're donating to charity. We're holding an event for this. We're doing that. But the people around Kraft that have to work with him, that have to work for him,
They don't say the same thing.
Because
I know a few people that have had interactions with him. They do not like him or the family at all.
No.
We have a close friend of the show, helps us out a lot, who's can't get much closer to Kraft than this guy gets to Kraft. There is nobody closer to Kraft than what he gets, and he says the same thing. Like it is
construction people go in there to do work on the stadium. He
They don't
doesn't
get
want
paid?
to pay.
Yeah.
But he still owes my buddy money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this
I've
guy's
heard-
fucking dirty.
I've heard that from multiple. Yeah. So it's
but
pretty
then
bad.
I'm gonna send 5,000 masks and I'm gonna fly out my jet. But like these guys in Massachusetts, I'm just not gonna pay these construction workers.
With all this being said, I still every Friday can't wait to watch it.
I haven't watched one episode.
Haven't either.
It's good. I just enjoy it with everything. Even with the, like you say it's the negative light. I say it's the negative light in Aaron Hernandez. You still saw little things behind the scenes, like the Brandon Lloyd interactions, what I thought was pretty cool. I didn't realize how close Deion Branch and him were. And Deion Branch was like the middleman. Like they would go to Deion Branch to check on Aaron Hernandez. Like those little things, there was little things with like Gronk and like Wes Welker. Those things, like the behind the scenes stuff like that, I really enjoy.
I almost feel like the Aaron Hernandez story should be a documentary on its own.
It was its own documentary.
Right, but I feel like that should be a 5-part series on its own. When I think of the Patriots dynasty, I know he was great. He was only here for a short time. I don't really think of Aaron Hernandez. He never won a title.
No, but you forget how great he was.
He was great. He was great.
They did key in on that part, so I will give them that.
Yeah.
So like when it went into him being drafted and him playing on the field, I forgot.
Oh, it's very good.
I forgot, and this show brought it right back to me. And that's right. When they played, Aaron Hernandez was my favorite, not Gronk.
Aaron Hernandez was
to have him and Gronk on the field
unbelievable.
Together, if they could have done that for 10, 12 years.
What a matchup nightmare both of them were.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that I was a huge Hernandez fan. And
me too.
When I heard he was getting arrested, that was one of the most disappointing things I've heard on the news.
Yeah.
Like, no, this kid,
The two,
Can't
they
be
got to
right.
be
Yeah.
wrong. They
Yeah.
wrong
Yeah,
guy.
well, he seemed very, very charming.
yeah.
So it was hard,
Yeah.
you know,
When he
for us.
wanted to be. That's it brought that out in the show too.
Yeah.
And he was also a psychopath.
Yeah, see, my cousin was very, very similar. He was very charming, but was also very aggressive, very violent, very dangerous. But when people only saw the charming side, they really liked him. I'm like, yeah, just don't get too close.
Like they were telling when Brandy Lloyd came, and a lot of the guys were saying, listen, whatever you do not go out with Aaron.
Yeah.
You do not go out with Aaron. And that was the golden rule.
Yeah.
Nobody left that stadium with Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know if you were coming back.
Yeah, scary, man.
You didn't know what you were getting into.
Interesting.
Yeah. But if that was a 5-part documentary on Aaron Hernandez, that would be fascinating, right?
Yes.
His childhood, right? And what led up to this.
Yeah.
Maybe his college years.
Because they did touch on some of that stuff. They did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But I've said this last week and the week before. Tony, maybe wait till it's all out because you will binge it. You will sit.
The hell is that? I think
Stomach.
someone here's got a fart.
The best is when we put this on Spotify later, it really picks up
You'll-
things.
All right, what was
Yeah.
that? Someone's stomach, or did someone rip
Yeah,
You're
it?
gonna hear Dave's stomach.
You starving over there?
I
We
am
got some eggs
starving.
downstairs.
I haven't eaten since
Get this guy some
9
eggs.
this morning.
So wait till after next week. I think those are the last 2 episodes. Might be another week, and you will binge the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it really is must see
Yeah,
TV.
I wonder, how long has this been? How long is this documentary? How long has it been?
I think it's 12 episodes.
12 episodes. But when did they finish this?
This year.
This
I think
year, okay.
I think they finished it this year.
So Belichick almost had to be fired this year.
But But they finished it with. I looked ahead. The last episode is the breakup.
right.
Is the complete end of the
So-
dynasty.
You almost had to fire him, right, to unleash this documentary. You couldn't have him come back next year.
No, I don't see. That's what I mean. I don't think anything in this is damning to Belichick.
Okay, because everything I hear on
You're right,
Sports
and
Talk talks
that's-
about how it's damning.
I think it's just because they want to.
They
need
wanna
to fill
amp it
more
up?
time
Okay,
and
maybe,
amp it up and
maybe,
talk about it. I
maybe.
truly believe that they could have aired this, and they could have continued.
Okay.
Because I don't. There's nothing in this about Belichick that we don't know.
Okay, all
I
right,
think
yeah.
maybe they might have edited a little less of the grunting.
Right.
But you saw that every week anyway.
Yeah. And off the record, like when Belichick is
Do I have to cut the mics for the off the record?
no. Well, people do say there's another side of Belichick where he's like very funny, and he's and I've even seen clips of like Edelman talking about him. There's like a funnier side of Belichick that we don't see.
And I was hoping.
I would hope to see some of that.
Nothing.
Nothing.
You don't see that at all.
Yeah.
See,
So
that's
that, right away,
craft
that's like
production.
Yeah.
If
Because
this is Gronk and Edelman.
they talk about Randy Moss joking with Belichick. Like, I want to see that side because we
Yeah.
already know the old man that's kind of bitter at the world. I want to see the other
Definitely wanna
side
see stuff
when he
like
goes to
that,
the
yeah.
Pro Bowl and all these guys love him. You know, Jake Long talking about that guy could coach every single position on the field.
Matt Judon came here because of Belichick.
Probably out of a relationship they made at a Pro Bowl, right? Maybe.
Something like that, yeah.
So I'd like to see that side. We don't know that side.
I mean, if he was so bad and so hated, why did so many players want to come here and play for him?
Right. And they took a pay cut to play here.
Yeah.
And stay here once they were here.
Rodney Harrison.
Roddy Harrison.
Yep.
You know?
And they talk about that. They go a lot with. I don't want to say too much behind the scenes, but they show a lot of the practice footage, and there's a little bit of talk about Rodney Harrison, and it's just like, man, I loved this guy.
Him and Brady, I guess, used to go
Yeah,
at it, and they
yeah.
didn't really like each other at first. But you know what? That's the fire you need. You're playing football, right?
Yep. So that was good. All right. There we go.
Anything else? Did Dave? I think Dave wanted to finish with something.
I don't know.
He said,
it's getting
"You
kinda
know,
late.
you're getting
I know.
old."
You know you're getting old. Yeah, I was thinking of a off-sports topic,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
yeah.
Fields wants to talk about the New England Revolution.
Oh God.
We don't do any soccer
Yeah,
talk on this
I don't-
show.
I don't know.
Wrong show.
If you want to do talk about soccer, one quick thing, Messi. And what
Yeah.
he is doing
Nah.
out on this field is incredible.
That's all right. That's all right. We don't need to talk about any soccer.
Yeah, you know you're getting old when you're talking about soccer.
yeah. That's you got nothing else to talk about if you're talking about soccer.
Do you know that Lionel Messi? I believe it was Lionel Messi. At a young age, he was like a freak athlete, and I'll stat. It's an all-time soccer great. I don't really watch soccer. I don't even know who Lionel Messi is, but I was hearing the story and how his parents were working with a doctor that got him on HGH, and then he grew to be like a normal height.
Oh yeah.
And if he didn't, they projected him to be like 5'2", 5'3". I'll double check.
He's not even that tall though.
He's like 5'8", but at 5'2", 5'3", you're not one of the top soccer players in the world.
Yeah.
But at 5'8", interesting. HGH, fountain of youth.
That's what I've heard.
So what about the getting old stuff?
Just when you go to do something that when you were younger you didn't hesitate, you just did it.
Like wake up and get out of bed,
And
now I got to sit there for 20 minutes and think about it.
I was bowling, playing that candle pin.
Yeah,
I started thinking about, man, I suck at this.
yeah. Not only do I suck at this, I'm going to be sore for the next week and a half.
My back's killing me.
Is this worth it?
And I'm like, oh my God, I am getting old.
Yeah.
I can't even. I used to whip that ball down there. Now, I tried to throw it really hard the first couple of times, and then I couldn't stand up straight. My back was killing me. So yeah, it was just something I thought of, and swimming is another thing.
Oh. So something I did recently that I don't do often, but now that I'm old, I had to change a tire.
Oh, yeah.
And then changing that tire, when I was done with it, everything hurt.
It's funny. It's funny that you say that.
I know guys do it a lot, and they're probably hearing that going, you got to be kidding
It's funny
me.
that you say that, because today, for the first time in my life, I signed up for AAA. And I was on the phone talking to my friend, and I told her, if I have a flat tire, I don't even want to change it. I don't want to be on the highway where I'm on the driver's side and I got to worry about people driving. I'm like, I just want to park my car, call AAA, because I don't really want to change a tire.
100%. And this wasn't changing my tire in my car, because I would never do that. I would call AAA. But
As you should.
This is helping my dad with his car.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, because he's older, he's like, can you help me with this?
Yeah.
So I'm getting really frustrated trying to lug up the lug pattern. I got it on my legs, trying to use my legs now to lift it all up.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I walked away from that. He was very gracious, and I went upstairs and just lied down and went to bed.
I got to take a nap.
You know, and it was two wheels I think I had to help him with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awful.
The day after the wedding, we went snorkeling. We went off a catamaran, and the ocean was pretty rough. There was a pretty strong current. And I jumped in, and man, did that kick my ass.
Huh.
I mean, I finished the swim, but it hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I'm getting old.
I credit you for getting in the ocean.
I love it.
Oh.
I love snorkeling, and this was tough. Yeah.
I don't know how to swim.
No?
No. I grew up with an in-ground pool. I don't know how to swim. And people are like, oh, I'll teach you. I'm like, I don't really want to learn.
In the beginning of the probably wrong days, if you go back, we spent quite some time on diving in and Tony and him not knowing how to swim.
I think you were shocked, right? Like, how do you not know? I don't go in the water.
Away.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
All right. That's interesting.
Jason Fields likes to comment that I would changing a tire. I would never do that. I don't like doing
manual labor.
Labor, and it's not about me doing manual labor. It's just about like when I get home or doing anything around the house.
You're done.
I'm done. And time is something that you never get back.
Yeah.
So I don't want to spend my time doing something when I can just call someone and pay them to do it for me.
It's
Exactly.
funny. Everyone I know in the trades, they have skills. They can fix up everything. When you go to their house, like for a living, they just fix up other houses. Then you go to their house and everything's like falling apart because that's exactly what happens. They work all day, they get home, they're like, screw this. I just want to sit down and relax. And it's ironic, but I get it. Like, you're out there working all day, you come home, and the last thing you want to do is fix this and fix that. But I'm telling you, most people in the trades, they have so many issues around the house that they never get to.
Tony, so my wife's car, she has a Chevy Traverse. I don't know if anyone out there has them. You have one.
Yes.
I needed to put a new headlight assembly into it. So I said, I could do this. It's a couple screws.
Yeah.
I bought the headlight assembly. I downloaded the YouTube video. I went downstairs, watched the YouTube video, and immediately walked back upstairs, called an auto shop.
Yeah. I need you to do this.
You're going to take off the fender, the bumper, the grill.
Yeah, okay.
You got to take off the engine mounts, everything to get this light in.
Yeah,
and
all
I'm
right.
like, and then the ice topper to this, the cake topper is. Once you put it all back in, so if I got into this, I would have been like, man, now I have to finish it.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to me is that the brand new light I bought didn't have the guts. You needed to take the guts out of the old light.
God.
So I would have put this whole thing together,
Back
And then
together.
have to take it
turned the
apart.
car on,
Nothing.
and then would have absolutely lost it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would have
yeah,
been in
yeah.
that driveway smashing everything. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing you didn't get started.
oh. Nope. So sent that away. That was a quick couple bucks, but
I'd rather do that.
it
You know,
would
you
have
can
been.
always make money back.
You guys would have come in today and seen parts all over the driveway.
Yeah.
And been like, and you would have.
Broken parts.
They thought the start of this video was a mess. Imagine that.
Oh, yeah.
I would have been driving that truck to Florida with no fender on it, the hood, everything all bungee cord. Don't worry, Leah.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
it's
Leah.
fine.
It works. It works.
Chill out, Leah.
I got plenty of duct tape on it.
Complaining all week. Knock it off.
Oh, no. But, yeah, when it comes to any of that stuff, I am completely pay somebody to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Or it just,
you know what? That's
it just
why
doesn't get done.
That's why we work every day. So you have the ability to pay someone else. It keeps the economy going too. That guy works, and then he goes out to eat. Waitress gets paid. Keep the money rolling.
I envy some of these people that can do that. But then again, I'm like, no.
Yeah,
That's where it stops.
yeah.
All right. Till next week, guys. That was a,
Got off to a
that's
rough
pretty good
start,
show.
but we finished strong.
Next week, no, you won't be around.
There'll be no show next week.
No show.
We'll talk about that after.
We'll talk about that after. All right.
All right.
See you in 2 weeks.
Let me see if I can find that off button.